guys, it's Mrs. Firestone. How are you doing? We are here to do some writing this afternoon. Remember, there's 4 things you want to do every day. We want to work with words, we want to read, we want to write, we want to work with numbers. So we did a reading this morning. Now, we didn't read from a book, but we talked about retelling a story, and that was our reading this morning, and that was awesome. So hopefully you could retell that story. The second thing you want to do is work with words. We're going to do that in a little bit. We are going to write. That's what we're going to do right now. Sometimes when I write, it is so difficult for me to figure out what I want to write about. So one of the tricks we use in my classroom is we use character dice and we use setting dice. So we don't have dice like that right now. So I took a piece of paper, just the regular piece of loose leaf paper, and I cut it into 8 different pieces, and I am going to put 4 characters and 4 settings on. So we said this morning that characters are the people and the animals that are in a story. So instead of our characters being in a story that we read, now our characters are going to be in a story that we write. Absolutely. So here are the characters that I'm going to take. I took a jar and I wrote Buzz Lightyear on one and put him in there. I put Mr. Potato Head in there. I'm going to put him in. I put a Barbie in there. I like that. I know I have other friends who like Barbie too. And I put Sonic in because I also know there's a lot of kiddos in my class that like Sonic. So I'm going to... and out, shuffle them up, roll them around, la-dee-dee-da-dee-doo-dee-da. Ooh, I got 2. Put one back. And I am writing about Mr. Potato Head. Okay, so I wonder where Mr. Potato is going to be. We said that Mr. Potato, or we said a setting is where is the setting going to be? Where does the story take place? So I am going to look, and I put 4 places. I picked the farm. Mr. Potato Head might go to the farm. Maybe he wants to have a horse ride or something. I picked the beach. Maybe Mr. Potato Head's going away with Mrs. Potato Head. I don't know. Pick the jungle. Ooh, 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 ah, ah, ah. Maybe he's going to swing them from the trees with those little monkeys that he found. And school. Maybe he's going to learn something. So we are going to put these in. So I wonder what setting we're going to have. So I'm going to all around. La 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 la. Ooh, shake it up, shake it up, shake it up, baby. Twist and shout. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay, I'm going to dump one out. Mr. Potato Head is going to be he's going to be in the jungle. Okay, so now what you're going to do is get a piece of paper. And I drew a line on my paper. And if you have a packet from school, you can do that. If you are working at home, you can take your paper, just a regular piece of paper. You need one side for your picture because remember, drawing your picture is the most important thing you can possibly do when you're writing your story, because all of your ideas, all of them have to come from your story. Have to come from your picture, so we can write an amazing story. So the more details we can put into this picture, the more we're going to have, we're going to be able to put in our story. So I am going to see if we can set this up so I can see. You see I have my Exeter stuff on still. Awesome. So I have the floor of the jungle down here, and I'm going to just make some trees. I'm going to make another tree and another tree. And then I'm going to make some big trees. I'm going to make some vines coming around. So what I'm starting to do is I'm making big trees. And I have these big vines because I think Mr. Potato Head might be swinging from those vines. So remember, it's kid writing. So when we do kid writing, that means it is kid writing marker time, kid writing marker time, kid writing marker time. Word. Anytime you can use markers, that's even better. And, ooh, smelly. This is mint. So I am going to go over some of my stuff with my marker. So the cool thing about markers when you're doing pictures, oh my, when you're doing pictures, you can use markers and you can use crayons. So when you use markers and crayons, it gives your picture more detail. So I'll show you what I mean. So I'm gonna put these, I'm gonna put my outline, because I just want to do my setting first. Remember that we said we were going to be going to the jungle. That's where this story is going to be. So I can do a bunch of different things. However, I want to make sure that I get my setting first. So before I do my characters, before anything, I want to make sure that I am making sure my setting is perfect. So whatever setting you decide, that would be amazing. But if you pick jungle, or you pick circus, or you pick any place that you would like to go to, that's awesome. And do that first. You want to get all of your pictures for your setting first. So remember when we I got my crayon and I put the black line on the regular colors because that helps me. That makes it so much easier. So if I take my green crayon and I color over the marker, my marker doesn't run out as fast, because that is such a bummer when that happens. And I can quickly color my pictures. Okay, so I'm gonna keep coloring this. I'm gonna just pause my, I'm gonna pause this for a second so I can color this, and you can keep coloring your pictures as you're doing your setting, and then when we come back, we'll be ready to draw our character. Okay, so keep drawing your picture and we'll come right back. So I finished drawing my scene, which is my setting. So that is where the story happens. So I finished drawing my setting, and then I drew my character, who is Mr. Potato Head, and I drew him swinging on a vine. So then the next part I want to do is I want to write my story. So I want to think about what Mr. Potato Head is doing in the jungle, why he's in the jungle, but I'm going to keep looking at my story because that's going to, or keep looking at my picture because that's going to help me write my story. So I'm going to open up my paper and I'm going to start to write Mr. Mr. Potato Head was in the jungle. So I have my first sentence. Mr. Potato Head was in the jungle. He was looking, king of ing, so I have my sight word look, and I added king of ing, looking for, there's another sight word for, Buzz Lightyear. Well, I'm going to just put Mr. Potato Head was in the jungle, period. He was looking for Buzz, period. He started to swing on the vines. He slipped off and his pieces went everywhere. Mr. Potato Head was like, so when, when my brain stops thinking about what I'm writing and I'm at the end of a sentence, I always want to go back, because my brain, I have to remind it, what exactly am I thinking about? And what did I write? So I have to read it again because that's going to make my brain think, and then I can write more. So I have Mr. Potato was in the jungle. He was looking for Buzz. He started to swing on the vines. He slipped off and his pieces went everywhere. Mr. Potato Head had to pick himself up and start again. And that's the end of my story. So what I'm going to do now is I have this awesome story. I have a really cool picture. I'm going to ask my parents if I can download the app Chatterpix. Now, if you're in my classroom, we have used Chatterpix a lot. If you are not in my classroom, then you should probably check that out, because Chatterpix is one of the neatest things you could do, because you can actually bring your story to life. So I'm going to do that now, and I will show you what that looks like. So Mr. Potato Head was in the jungle. He was looking for Buzz. He started to swing on the vines. He slipped off, and his pieces went everywhere. Mr. Potato Head had to pick himself up and start again. So I hope you like my Chatterpix, and I would love to see if you could make a Chatterpix too. It's a Chatterpix app is from DuckDuckMoose. It is a free app, and that's free through the Khan Academy. So it is a great, they have a bunch of different apps you can use. This is my favorite. So use the Chatterpix app, upload your story to either my Facebook page, Mrs. Firestone's Kindergarten, send it through Seesaw, email me, but I'd love to see what you created. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.